them were the defense behind him. But he was throwing the ball anywhere from 91 to 93 miles an hour. He was keeping it down, and he was getting great movement on his sinker. So hopefully he'll be able to bring that same repertoire of pitches out there every time he goes out there. If he does, it's going to be a good pitcher for the Rangers.
2-1 to Grunzelanek. Right in there, 2-2. Let us continue to scout out Sir Sidney Ponson. And we'll do that right after this. A ground ball solely to short. Grunzelanek retired, and as promised, the Rico scouting report on Sidney Ponson.
He's a big guy. He's 32 years old. Already been in the big leagues for 11 years. He got here when he was really young, 21 as a matter of fact. He's won 82 big league games. His last major league win came last May. That was for Minnesota at Tampa Bay. And the other thing that's evident early in this game, and was evident in his last start, he's working quickly, not taking a lot of time between pitches, not walking around the mound, taking him a minimum amount of time and throwing low strikes, which is very favorable for his fielders. You love playing behind a guy like that.
He would be working quicker, but this is David DeJesus at the plate. Guy that steps out, way out after every pitch.
I think the one way to counteract that for an umpire is not to grant time and let the pitcher pitch when he's ready. And if the guy's out of the batter's box, call it what it is, ball or a strike.
Well, from the department of calling it what it is, here are the Rangers at 10-18, and knowing full well they need to get better. They have made 30 errors in 28 games. They've got the highest earned run average in the American League by a bunch. That says nothing of the unearned runs allowed by the Major League high 30 errors. So Rangers well aware of what they need to do better. And the problem, I guess, right now, Tag, as you documented during the pregame show, that disabled list has swelled. You got a lot of guys that you'd be counting on to do what they do very well, but they're hurt.
Yeah, and the Rangers right now are at a point where there's not a lot of other options. If someone else got hurt, they got to start getting some guys back. I think the one injury that was really unfortunate, well, all of them are, but for Travis Metcalf, here's a kid that was playing great in spring training, hurt his hamstring, and even if he did start the year in AAA, would be up here probably playing third base every day for about a month when Hank got hurt. And without him, they've had to improvise a little bit, but it's a good opportunity for someone like Herman Duran, for Vasquez to get more playing time. Brandon Boggs is going to get some playing time because Marlon Byrd's on the disabled list. And hopefully they'll all take advantage of that opportunity, and it won't be such a bad thing.
Ladled in there for a strike to Jose Guillen, guy that had 5 runs batted in the opener of this series. And it's had only 10 runs batted in the whole rest of the year. Down the right side, foul. The Rangers an 11-9 wind-blown winner yesterday. They bopped 5 home runs in that game. And survived a bit of a scare to win that one. They were up 9-1. They were hanging on for dear life at the end. Again, the opposite field approach. Still 0-2 to Jose Guillen, the former Mariner, former Angel, among others. He was an Oakland A, too, so he's essentially been on every team in the AL West except the Rangers. On the ground near short, Vasquez will flick it over to Kinsler. Going the short way to end the inning. 1 walk, 1 left. Rangers coming up. Rangers finishing up a homestand here today, and the sun is actually trying to peek out from behind the clouds right now. Not giving up on this suntan thing quite yet today. Southwest Southwest Airlines starting lineup: Kinsler, Vasquez, and Young. Young is DHing today. Kind of a half a day off for Michael. 14-game hitting streak, though. You want him in the lineup somehow. Same for Hamilton, same for Murphy, same for the rookie Brandon Boggs, who is 4 for 6 in the big leagues. Broussard, Saltalamacchia, and Durant the rest of the way against the right-hander Zack Greinke. And what an interesting story Zack Greinke is. He has battled back from a social anxiety disorder that had him clear out of baseball for a while. Not only is he back, Tag, he is back with a fury. He's got one of the best earned run averages in all of baseball.
Well, he's already been in the big leagues for 3+ years. He's only 24 years old. He was the 6th player picked in the draft in 2002. Obviously, the Royals loved him, and when he was out of baseball there or off the active roster for a while, it was anxious times for the Royals. But you're right, he has come back to pitch very well. His ERA.
Kinsler roping one left field. That is gone. The third pitch from Greinke today.
The Rangers have picked up where they left off last night. 5 home runs in the game last night, and already a couple of pitches into the game, they've got one on the board today.
Well, yesterday, Brian Bannister came in the game with one of the best ERAs in the league, and the Rangers floated it up from mid-2s up to 4. Maybe they're about to do the same to Zack Greinke today.
You got to pitch inside part of the plate. And a line shot. Hard to tell whether it was ever going to get high enough to be a home run. It just barely did.
So as we were saying about Zack Greinke, he had been pitching very well. 1.25 ERA for the year. And his last time out against Toronto, 1 run in 7 innings of work. The Rangers already have that 1 run. There's nobody out today.
Well, Brian Bannister came into the game last night having given up only 1 home run. That changed in last night's game. Zack Greinke has only given up a couple of home runs coming into the day, and already Ian has taken him deep. His comeback, really, if you want to call it a comeback, or his development, really started last year. He was in the Royals rotation to start the year, but after 7 starts, he was 1-4 with an ERA of almost 6. So they put him in the bullpen. Hanging curveball hit into center field. He went to the bullpen. He pitched well in the bullpen. He was 4-1 with a 3.54 ERA. Then he went back into the rotation. The interesting part about Greinke's season last year is after August 7th, no pitcher in baseball that threw at least 40 innings had a better ERA than he did. It was 1.54 in the last 6 or 7 weeks of the season. So he's picked up this year right where he left off the last 6 weeks of last season. And instead of being used in the bullpen to work his way out of a slump, he's right in the middle of their rotation, doing pretty well.
When that fastball is on, it's really on. Last year, they say his average fastball tag was fired in there at 95. That is faster than Joe Nathan's average fastball, Papelbon's, J.J. Putz's.
Well, you know, it seemed to develop, that fastball, in the bullpen. When he would come in for an inning or an inning and 2/3, you'd see him throwing the ball in the high 90s occasionally. And I can remember thinking, watching that, I don't remember him throwing that hard when he was in the rotation. And now, and I don't know how hard he's been throwing at the beginning of the year, but so far in this game, he's kind of back to what he was when he was in the rotation and the Rangers faced him in the past, somewhere, you know, 89 to 93, right around there, with the ability to maybe pop it up there a little bit more. Probably a case of, if you want to throw 110 pitches and pitch 7 or 8 innings, you have to pace yourself. But being able to tune it up in the 90s, mid to high 90s like that, shows you that it's in there. If he ever needs a little extra, you would think. It was definitely there when he was coming out of the bullpen anyway.
I think Greinke now has prided himself on a guy that can go deep into ball games. He has been into the 7th inning his last 3 starts.
You know, this year he's averaged 36 innings, 5 starts. He's averaged more than 7 innings per start. That's pretty good for a 24-year-old pitcher. Most 24-year-olds, or anybody else for that matter, with the same amount of pitches, is averaging more like 6 innings and not 7.
Well, the apologies to that dude from 16 Candles. No more Yankees, Zach Greinke. Trey Holman was, I think, out of spring training, figuring that, yeah, you know, this is a guy we want to be careful with still. You know, get 5 quality innings from him and then kind of get the bullpen involved. But he's been pitching too well for that plan to be put into action.
Well, what he's doing is he's just using a minimum amount of pitches, throwing a lot of strikes. Hasn't had a ton of strikeouts, 19 strikeouts in 36 innings. Other teams are putting it in play, but not with a lot of authority. I think this is the farthest toward the right field line I've seen a right fielder play. Tian is way over for Michael. And Greinke also has a good assortment of pitches, curveball, slider, and a real good changeup. There's a good fastball right on the outside corner. A little extra there, 94.
You mentioned Tian being way over there towards the line and right. I'm frankly telling you, I'm surprised more teams don't do a little bit more of that with Michael. It's not exactly a stunner, especially with 2 strikes, and he's hitting that ball towards the right field corner quite a bit.
Well, teams used to play Julio Franco that way. Julio, I don't think I've ever seen a player hit the ball harder to the opposite field than Julio Franco, or harder period than he did the year he won the batting championship. And the right fielder would be way over in right center. The right fielder would be down the line, and he'd hit, seemed like a couple of balls, 2 or 3 balls a week, line shots right where they were playing. So you get a spray chart of where a guy hits the ball, and you put your defense accordingly. Play the percentage. Doesn't mean they're always going to hit one there, but if you play the percentages, more often than not, you'll have it covered.
Speaking of guys that hit line drives, Josh Hamilton, you know, he's hitting .330 for the batting average, but boy, with all the baseballs he's hitting right on the button, it's almost a surprise he's not hitting .380 right now. Will he be the American League Player of the Month? The voting is today and tomorrow among the media that covers the American League. Credentials are impeccable. 6th most April runs batted in Major League history, 32.
There's that good changeup that Greinke has.
Of course, we kind of need to qualify that last stat, though, and you did it a little bit yesterday, Tag, with the knowledge that games now are starting not even on April 1st, but March 30th. Used to be the season would start more like April 12th.
I think now the guys are getting 27, 28 games in April. Before it was probably 19, 20, 21 games. They're probably getting 25 or 30 more at bats in April than they used to get. So it would stand to reason that the Aprils that hitters are having right now would have a chance to have more numbers just because there's more at bats for the players.
Leading the American League in runs batted in now, and total bases and hits, is Josh Hamilton. Chopper near third, dropped, but recovered. Alex Gordon will make that play. Vasquez scoots along to second. David Murphy comes up next. You know, the Rangers, despite that 10-18 April tag, they could have the American League Player of the Month and the American League Rookie of the Month hitting back-to-back in their lineup.
Yeah, they could.
Murphy qualifies as the latter. 15 runs batted in, and he was tied for the big league lead with 11 doubles.
Some pretty good candidates for pitcher of the month. I guess Cliff Lee probably gets the nod, but Wong, Santana, Saunders have all won 5 games. But I guess you got to look at Cliff Lee with 5 wins and an .096 ERA. Might be a pretty easy choice.
One and one to David Murphy. You know, Wando's big 1998. He's got that record of 35 April runs batted in. He also had one in March, by the way. Give him 36 by the end of April, but 35 in April. And he did that in only 25 games.
He had 107 at bats, and Hamilton has 115 at bats. Juan didn't walk very much. Josh has walked a little bit.
Swept along near first, and that will be taken care of to retire the side. However, the Ian Kinsler home run to lead things off has got the Rangers on top 1-0.
Where Southwest fans go first. FSN Southwest.
Ian Kinsler being presented to you in spectacular high-definition television today. So are the rest of his teammates. And as we go to the second inning, so is our good friend Jim Knox.
All right, thank you, Josh. Hey, today is Thursday, so that means live auction day. That's right. Log on to TexasRangers.com, and you can bid on tickets behind home plate for, get this, guys, June 17th game against those Atlanta Braves. So log on to TexasRangers.com for that silent auction going on right now. This hat, Tom, how old do you think this hat is? Look at this old Ranger hat.
I've never seen one of those, Jim. I don't know.
How old is it, you think, sir?
It's probably 20 years, something like that.
20 years old. My nice little collector's item right there, and keeping score. We also have a quick group here from Athens, big Ranger fans. What's the special occasion?
My dad's birthday.
And your dad is 60, and your name?
Jim Clary.
All right, well, good to have you here, guys. Happy birthday. Good to have you. Yeah, go Rangers. Good Athens fans from Ranger fans from Athens. Thanks, guys.
You're not going to ask them about how old their hats are there, Jim?
I think those are they're fresh out of the box, Josh.
Cool. All right.
Brad, what?
Bought it last night.
Last night, see? I guess. Perfect.
We are moving merchandise today. Thank you, Jim. There's a swing and a foul back by Billy Butler. I thought Jim was going to give that first guy the full Benny Hill treatment right there. Start patting him on the head. Ponson to Butler. And a ground ball to third base. Duran, who had a couple of errors yesterday, challenges Ben Broussard right there, but Ben Broussard is on the bag.
If you've played second base for much of your professional career, going over to third base, that's a different throw. He's playing back. That's about as long a throw, except when the shortstop goes in the hole. It takes a little bit of getting used to. His arm is strong enough, just a matter of learning the release point and how to make an accurate throw from that distance. Already this year, Herman has played left field for the first time in his life. And so he's up for the challenge, and he'll play anywhere that Ron Washington gives him a chance to play and not complain about it. But it does take a little bit of an adjustment to learn the different throws.
301, a heck of a lot better than 129, which is where Alex Gordon was late in April last year. The savior of the franchise, supposedly, and he still may be. It's a lot of pressure to put on a young kid. And he did right the ship by the end of last year. Batting average was obviously a lot higher than in the 120s. But history tells us, Tag, there are very few rookie third basemen who step right in and have outstanding years right away. And the guys that do either don't last very long or they get moved somewhere else.
So what you're saying is the key is don't play very well your first year?
Then you're destined for greatness. Albert Pujols had a great rookie year at third, but then he got moved, of course. Alex Gordon, cross state for the Kansas City Royals. He's got next. It's 1-0 Rangers.
Va a la segunda entrada, los Rangers ganando 1-0. Vamos a ver lo que pasa aquí con Wade Box. Le recordamos que la acción la puede escuchar en español el día de hoy, ya sabe, en FSN. Agarre su control remoto, esa es la clave. Agarre su control remoto y presionando el botón del SAP lo escuche en español con José Guzmán y su servidor Elena Ornelas aquí en FSN. Los 162 partidos.
The SAP broadcast brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. We were just talking about rookie years a moment ago regarding Alex Gordon, the guy at the plate, Brandon Boggs. Well, so far so great. He's hitting .667. 4 for his first 4. He is slumped going over his last 2, but that's a heck of a way to debut right there. .667.
Well, that's a good curveball he's got. There's not many pitchers in baseball with a better assortment of pitches than this kid. And I'm not touting him for a 20-game winner or Cy Young award yet. But when you can throw the fastball anywhere from 91 to 94 consistently and have a little extra if you need it, and then mix in that kind of curveball with the changeup that he's got, and also have a slider, you're on your way to winning a lot of big league games.
Ben Broussard fouls the first one out of play. Interesting spot for Ben to be in, and really for manager Ron Washington to be in right now, if you think about it, Tag. Ron obviously is a guy that kind of championed the cause of Ben Broussard. Wanted badly to have him here, and Ben is trying to repay his manager by getting out of the gate quickly, but it hasn't happened. Ben had that first road trip burst where he had 3 home runs and 8 runs batted in. But here he is still with 3 home runs, 8 runs batted in. That first road trip was 4 weeks ago.
Yep.
So not only has a guy like Jason Bott seen time at first base, now Chris Shelton comes up and he's seeing some time at first. Broussard knows he's going to have to hit to get his spot in the lineup. He just lined out.
Yeah, it's too bad. He hit that ball hard, right on the nose, right straight at Grzelcyk.
Trying to keep that positive attitude, Ben Broussard. You know, yesterday, right-handed starter. There was a right-handed first baseman starting over there instead, Chris Shelton. I think Ben kind of took stock of that, and I mean, if he didn't realize then that production soon would be a good idea, that probably will snap you to attention.
And there's a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, which shows you there is more in the tank than the 91, 93 that we've been seeing. There's an excellent changeup, 83, 12 miles an hour difference. This kid really has good stuff, boy.
And you know, you really can't see any difference motion-wise, right, between that 95 and the 83.
No, and that's what a big league pitcher has to do, because if there is a little bit of a difference, the hitter or guys on the bench will pick that up, and that will allow them to pretty much know what kind of a pitch is coming. So the key for the changeup is the grip. You have a softer grip, so you throw it just as hard as you throw your fastball. Your arm speed is the exact same, so nothing changes, but the grip doesn't allow the ball to go as fast. It comes out of your hand differently. Look at that curveball.
Saltalamacchia is a believer. Couple of strikeouts in the inning. Boggs called out, Salty called out, and it stays 1-0 Rangers. Texas Ranger Baseball on FSN Southwest, brought to you by your Texas Dodge dealers and by Geico Insurance. So the Rangers fought through it last night, won the game 11-9. Now on another breezy day for baseball, the Rangers and the Royals play the so-called rubber game of the 3-game series. Named because whichever way this one bounces, that's who wins the series. As they put it in the Royals media notes today, Tom, they're battling for series superiority today.
All right, we got something on the line then.
There's a big game vibe about all this. Series superiority is at stake right now.
Well, based on the way both pitchers are throwing, it's going to be a lower scoring game than last night. They're both throwing pretty well.
John Buck lines one towards center, dropping down in front of Hamilton. Buck's the guy that probably extended the length of the game by a good 35 minutes yesterday by getting hit with an 0-2 pitch. I really think Kevin Millwood, if that hadn't happened to him, Tag, just breezes through that 7th inning.
Could very easily have happened.
Now we don't have pitching change theater. The Royals don't get back in the game. And Buck later hit a home run off C.J. Wilson, made the score 11-9, which is where it finally ended. Pena jabs at a bunt. And that's behind 0-1.
That's one thing. If you're batting ninth and you're hitting 156, you better be able to get a bunt down. That you don't get that many opportunities in the American League to sacrifice bunt, but when you do, you got to come through when you're not swinging the bat.
He went again. That's 0-2.
2 weak bunt attempts right there.
Doesn't look like his heart was in it. His body sure wasn't in it. Well, Sidney Ponson, who for 8 months was out of baseball, despite more than 80 big league wins. He's going to get a little chip shot here towards second. And Kinsler to Vasquez. Of course, Ponson started with the Rangers AAA team this year at Oklahoma, just kind of biding his time. And our Geico quote from Sidney Ponson. Got an email here tagged from Ranger fan Wayne, wants to know if Sidney Ponson is any relation to the Ponson that used to pitch for the Orioles.
The same one.
Yes, he's directly related
Not
to
only
him.
related, he resembles him.
That's the guy. That's the guy that won 17 games for the Orioles and Giants as recently as 2003.
It's only been 6 or 7 innings, but I really think he's throwing as well right now as he was when he was pitching for the Orioles and pitching well. Definitely a different guy right now.
That's a better bunt. Gathright is out, however, trying to bunt for a base hit.
Than he has been the last few years. He just looks like he's more focused. He's working quicker. He has a good intensity about him, and he's throwing a lot of quality strikes.
We talked about Ponson spending 8 months out of baseball, and his last big league win was on this date in 2007. He says it was one of those things where really he rediscovered his passion for the game. You're away from it entirely for 8 months. It's the old cliche in the song about you don't know what you got till it's gone. I think that really hit home for Sidney.
You don't know what you got until you lose it. Ral Donner. You never even heard of him, have you?
No.
That's a golden oldie. There's someone out there watching right now that
knows that one.
I got that song.
I got the one that goes, they paved paradise and put up a parking lot. That's where I'm going, Chief. Grzelcyk breaks his bat and gets it beyond a waving Ramon Vasquez. Hamilton comes up firing, and Saltalamacchia cannot get to it. The run is in. We're tied at 1.
Now 2 soft singles to center and a bunt turns into a run. Good movement on that pitch. It came in and it jammed Grzelcyk and just got it past the outstretched glove of Ramon Vasquez.
That brings Pena in. And Grzelcyk fighting off the effects of a bad back. He's at first. So anyway, I'm going Joni Mitchell. You're going who?
Ral Donner.
Ral Donner.
That probably came out in 1963, maybe 64ish.
I didn't come out till 1968, so that's why I missed that one.
Hasn't stopped you from knowing about the Honeymooners.
No, that's true. Oh, but that was on all the time.
Yeah, you caught that. You caught the replays. That's true.
Yeah. Growing up in Western New York, that
you have to listen to a lot of radio before you hear Ral Donner sing that song.
Also never heard the Green Hornet. Fouled away by DeJesus. Now these Royals right now at 12-15, and there's no one exactly running away in the AL Central. 12-15. That's only 2.5 games out of first. The Rangers, unfortunately, in a division where the Angels already have 18 wins, the A's already have 17. In there to DeJesus. Ponson did pitch a bit in the Dominican League this past winter. Pitch for Escogido. And he says with the help of his catcher, Raul Casanova, kind of smoothed out his mechanics. That fastball popped back to life, 94 miles an hour now. With, as you said from last start, Tag, heavy sink to it, too. Kind of that Kevin Brown style sinking fastball.
He threw one pitch in his last start, 96 miles an hour, that looked like a left-handed slider. We made the comment look like a wiffle ball pitch. Now, every one of them is not like that, but almost all of them have good life to them, and he's keeping them down.
Towards right field, and another one that's just down in front of a Ranger outfielder. This time David Murphy pulling up on it.
Every ball hit this inning's been hit off the handle. None of them have been hit hard.
Another ball a little bit up. First pitch swinging, there's Guillen, lofting one towards the crowd. Rangers won't be home again for a little while. Your last chance to come see a Ranger game is today, basically before Mother's Day weekend. The Rangers come back home May the 9th. And will take on one of Jose Guillen's former teams, the Oakland A's. Both the Rangers and the Stars are heading to the Bay Area now. The Rangers to play the A's, and the Stars to play those San Jose Sharks at the Shark Tank in San Jose. Actually, the Rangers will be in neither Oakland nor San Jose. They stay in San Francisco. Kind of split the difference. We should mention, too, the Rangers man that makes it go, the Rangers traveling secretary, Chris Lingus, celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday, Lingo. Shot ball near short. Vasquez, a little double clutch. Make sure that Kinsler was going to the bag. He was. Ponson out of the inning. However, the Royals tie it. It is 1-1 in the third.
Boy, chili cheese conies only 99 cents.
99 cents.
Deal, huh?
Definitely getting that. Say hello to my little friend George Washington.
Oh, nice. Nice. You gonna pay?
Nope, just wanted you to say hi. So,
great.
George, this is Pete. I've been telling you about. Now get back in there.
I'd love to see you again.
99-cent regular chili cheese coney. Now at Sonic. A hearty dose of Sonic deliciousness for just 99 cents. And stop in for happy hour. Half-price fountain drinks and slushes every day from 2 to 4 p.m.
Tie ball game, the Rangers and the Royals today. Number 9 man in the order, Herman Duran. Batting leadoff here against Zach Greinke. Greinke, the number 6 overall pick in the 2002 draft. As we've talked about, has had to navigate through some social anxiety issues that threatened to wipe him clear off the baseball map for a little while. He has overcome that. He has found just a tremendous fastball to go with the curveball and the changeup. And he came into this game today with one of the best earned run averages in all of baseball, 1.25.
There's some guys that, you know, get by with a great fastball and work on the other pitches. This kid's got a way above average curveball, a way above average changeup, and a pretty solid slider that he doesn't have to throw very often. But the last several strikeouts that he's had, including that one, that's about as good a curveball as you'll see anywhere in the big leagues. I don't care who you're talking about. He knows how to pitch. He's a good athlete. He's got an excellent delivery, and he throws a lot of strikes.
Kinsler got a hold of a strike. Got one up in the air, as a matter of fact, and got credit for his second home run of the year.
In 2005, when Greinke was only 21 years old, he went 5-17 in 33 starts. He was in the rotation all year in an ERA of 5.80. But he wasn't quite as accomplished with his command as he is right now, but he got that year under his belt. Then he had his struggles the next couple of years. We mentioned he spent some time in the bullpen. Last 6 weeks of the season last year, he was throwing just like he is right now. He was a minor league, Sporting News minor league player of the year in 2003. He was 15-4 in the minor leagues. Well, he's been around, and he's had some setbacks, and he's still only 24 years old, throwing as well as anyone in the league right now. There's a hard slider.
The other thing about that too, Tag, I mean, he started pitching full time not until his senior year of high school, so he's got an arm with very low mileage on it too. Only 24 years old, and it's not like he's been one of those kids that was throwing curveballs when he was 11. Kinsler trying to escape Greinke, but can't do it.
That's, even more remarkable that he's got the assortment of pitches that he does with the command. To be this polished at 24 with that much experience is pretty remarkable.
It's like that car that only gets driven on Sundays, only gets driven to church and back, and then when they go to sell it, it gets pretty high resale on it. What did we mention? It's a little breezy here today.
Yeah, last 2 nights been about as breezy as it gets up here.
Winds were steadily in the high 20-mile-an-hour range yesterday. I got to think they're at least in the low to mid 20-mile-per-hour range today. The Rangers lofting 5 home runs yesterday. They scored all 11 of their runs on home runs. And again, it had just enough to win that ball game, 11-9.
Greinke's not wasting a lot of time either, just like Ponson. Getting the ball, doesn't leave the rubber. Looks down at the ground, gets his sign, and throws it.
Vasquez hits it on the ground to a Gold Glover from a couple years ago, Grudzielanek. So the Rangers do not score. We are at the end of 3 on a windy afternoon, 1-1.
Ticket to Rangers baseball is FSN Southwest. Slugger Josh Hamilton leads the charge as the Rangers head to Oakland to topple an AL West heavyweight. Rangers Athletics tomorrow on FSN Southwest.
Aflac. 4th inning, let's get you to our Aflac Insurance Trivia question for the day. Who's got the Rangers single season record for most home runs by a center fielder? And that one's in play because of Josh Hamilton. Just doing some quick math, Tag, because I know you love projecting stats all the way through a season. That is not a pet peeve of yours at all.
No, not at all.
Okay. 6 home runs in April, 6 months in the season. 6 times 6 would be 36.
Right.
Which I believe would be a Ranger record for a center fielder. If you project out the runs batted in, it's even more fun. Get about 190 of those bad boys for Josh Hamilton. But
I remember when Juan had 100 at the All-Star break, people were talking about projections and maybe the all-time RBI record. But it's tough to maintain the pace that Josh is on right now. Had one of the best RBI months in April in history, and so to continue to do that 5 more times is asking a lot. Main thing is to get the same amount of opportunities. He hasn't missed many opportunities, but he's been fortunate that he's had a good number of opportunities, and he's cashed in too.
191, the Hack Wilson record in 1930. He also hit 356 that year, did Hack. He had 53 in August alone, did Hack Wilson. He only had 53. He only had 11 in April.
Wow.
But again, as we've already talked about, season used to start more like April 12th or 14th.
Yeah.
And apparently there were just a pile of double headers in August for that team.
The other thing is he played 154 games too.
That is true. full count here to Mark Teahan. Manny Ramirez, the year after that, made a run at that record. He ended up with 165. First to go over 160 in the AL since Jimmy Fox in the 30s. There is ball 4 to Mr. Teahan in a 1-1 game in the 4th inning, and we go to Jim Knox.
All right, thank you, Josh. Hey, directly below me, Rick Renner, check him out. Shooting some intros from Ranger Insider. Rangers Insider Weekly here on FSN. You know, we thought we'd do a little prank on our good buddy. We got the TCU students here. You know, let's see if they yell his name, see if he looks or anything. So Josh and Tom, check it out, see what Rick does. Go ahead, yell Rick out. Hey, Rick. Real loud. Ready? Hey, Rick! What's he doing? Anything? Okay, say something about his hair real quick. Something. Real louder. Get close to it. Hey, Rick! We love your hair! No. Anything? No? Let's say down to the rail. There we go. Hey, Rick! No, it's okay. Back to work, guys. Never.
There's a strike to Billy Butler. We gave up on trying to make heads or tails out of that bit, so we just watched Butler take strike 3.
I kept looking around the park trying to find Rick. He was down in the triangle down the right field line.
You could yell out, "Hey, Rick."
He's a little too far for me.
Oh, well, look at the kind of the boomerang action on that pitch.
That's what made it a strike. If you're Butler, there's no way you can hit that pitch. Because when you're watching the ball come in, it's about 4 inches outside and doesn't come back to catch the corner till right at the end. And there's no way you can anticipate that kind of movement. And even if you did, it'd be a hard pitch to hit where it was. That was a beautiful pitch from Sidney. Butler's not a real strikeout guy, but he just made a perfect pitch to him.
Rangers got on the board on a pretty quick opening salvo today. Ian Kinsler hitting the 3rd pitch of the game from Zach Greinke out of the park. The Royals had to scratch and claw their way to get their run back in the 3rd. Ponson continues to do, I think, a real nice job here, Tag, just kind of mixing and matching, changing speeds.
I like the way he's throwing. I like the way he pitched last game, too. And it's not just hard sinkers. He's mixing in other pitches to go along with it.
Gordon flicks one foul. We were talking a little bit ago, Tag, about his tough rookie season from last year, but Kansas City native and I guess the lord of the stat geeks. No, I'm just merely in line. Talking about the great Bill James, he ran it out there that if you take Buddy Bell's rookie season, Ron Santos, Mike Schmitz, George Brett's, Vinny Castillas, Brooks Robinson's, Matt Williams, George Kells, all those outstanding third basemen. One thing they had in common, they did not have as good of a rookie year as Alex Gordon did.
Really?
Yep. And I was not aware of that.
None of them did, or as a group?
No, as a well, each individually. I mean, Mike Schmidt, for example, hit 196 as a rookie.
That's an interesting stat.
Adrian Beltre, another guy, at 215. Brooks Robinson at 238. Gordon had to rally, but he was strong by the end of the year, closer to 270. That goes Sidney Ponzon's way. That's a beautiful thing. That's that ground ball. Rangers turn 2, and it stays 1-1.
Not too close. What do you think? I got that insurance?
What insurance is that, Yogi?
The one you really need to have. If you don't have it, that's why you need it.
Need what?
Aflac. Well, if you get hurt and miss work, it won't hurt to miss work. And they give you cash, which is just as good as money.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Takes on Texas Saturday on FSN Southwest.
Back to the Aflac trivia question in a 1-1 baseball game. The Rangers record holder for most home runs by a center fielder in one given calendar year. That would be the aforementioned Wando. Yes, remember he was a center fielder way back when. 34 home runs in 1992. Josh Hamilton right now, 32 runs batted in to go with 6 home runs. Right now, right here, though, we're talking hitting streak. Not so much a home runs or runs batted in. Michael Young, 14-game hitting streak right now. His longest ever is 25, right at the end of 05. We mentioned the Rangers are taking off for Oakland when this game is done. The Rangers will have to dip into the AAA rotation for a starter on Saturday. Looks like A.J. Murray is going to get the call. Essentially, the Rangers have 4 starters on their DL right now, if you include Brandon McCarthy, which you probably should. You've got Kaysen Gabbard, Luis Mendoza, and Jason Jennings. And here, you've got Young taking a look at a called third strike.
They're going to dip into the AAA rotation starting today for 3 of the next 4 starts. Ponson, A.J. Murray, and Scott Feldman. Just caught the inside corner. Good pitch from Greinke right there.
Greinke allowed a homer to Kinsler and a single by Vasquez as the game began. Nothing since then. 10 up, 10 down, but here's the possible American League Player of the Month. Hambone. Every guy with the last name Hamilton at some point gets called Hambone.
Hambone, yeah.
Of course, the Rangers had a center fielder named Hamilton before, Darrell Hamilton. He actually played that position very well.
Greinke, when you can show the differential between your changeup and your fastball and have that kind of delivery with it, that's tough to counteract. That's just those 2 pitches, fastball, changeup, and then when you can drop the kind of curveball that he has in there with those 2 pitches, along with a slider, that's a tough assortment of pitches for a hitter to handle. And the American League hitters have not been handling it very well this year. They've hit .226 against him. His ERA is 1.25.
Well, if you weren't a believer, I mean, when you see Hamilton wave and miss like that, I think that tells you what you really need to know about Zach Greinke.
Last pitch was 96 miles an hour. He's got 6 strikeouts today. That's the most he's had all year. He had 6 one other time. And other than that, his high was 4. The Rangers are seeing him at his best right now. That ball was hit hard.
Rudzelonic equal to it, though, and Greinke very quickly out of the inning. We stay tied 1-1 at the end of 4.
Explore your kids' first game. Explore a fireworks night. Explore big hits against division rivals. Explore all the 23 flavors of Dr. Pepper that give it that rich, bold taste. Then redeem the can for half-price tickets to most Rangers home games in the month of May. There's more to explore when you combine ice-cold, refreshing Dr. Pepper with great Rangers baseball. Get details at TexasRangers.com or redeem using Dr. Pepper as your coupon code.
Rangers coming back to Arlington next Friday. They will take on the A's and the Mariners and the Astros in that order. Yep, interleague play is almost here with the Astros coming in. A week from tomorrow, the first 20,000 fans get a free Rangers t-shirt. That's when the Rangers are taking on Oakland. 972 Rangers, the number to call to get your tickets, or you can go to TexasRangers.com. Sidney Ponson against Zach Greinke is your, I think, very interesting pitching matchup today, Tag. Both these guys have kind of battled the demons off the field in various ways. They have both come back to pitch effectively here in 2008. And they are in lockstep pretty much right here. 1-1 ball game in the 5th inning.
That's it.
3-1 the count to the catcher, John Buck, a guy who seems to do his best hitting when the chips are on the table. 10 for 20 with runners in scoring position. He is 2 for 35 when no one's on base. He is 2 for 36 when no one's on base. 1 up, 1 down. Tony Pena Jr. comes up next. Sidney Ponson, as you may know, is from the tiny island nation of Aruba, which is still most famous for being the first of the tropical destinations mentioned by the Beach Boys in that song from the movie Cocktail. Back to Sir Sidney, and he's got it. That's 2 down. I believe it's Aruba, Jamaica. Ooh, I want to take you to Bermuda, Bahama. Come on, pretty mama. I could be wrong.
Sounds right to me.
Nice job by Sidney. And we call him Sir Sidney. That's for real. He was indeed knighted by Queen Beatrix back in Aruba a few years ago. That's not a nerd alert. That's true. Oh, for the Beach Boys line. Yeah, that's way nerd alert. That's true. Chop ball to short. Vasquez over to Ben Broussard, and Sidney Ponson. Cue the soundtrack from Cocktail. He's mowing him down here. It's 1-1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th.
Get to know the Rangers inside and out as FSN Southwest gets you up close and personal with your favorite players. This is the show built just for Rangers fans. Rangers Insider, Friday on FSN Southwest.
The perils of sloppy food. If only they ordered my spicy chicken bites. Juicy pieces of white meat chicken covered in a spicy crispy batter and served with buttermilk ranch dipping sauce. Great for people on the go.
Warp speed.
Texas Ranger Baseball brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers and by Aflac Insurance. Brandon Boggs trying to bunt, and he fouls it away. The Rangers have to get restarted here somehow against Zach Greinke. They had a homer and a single off him to get the day going. The Tag, it's been 12 up, 12 down since then.
Not surprising that it's been 12 up, 12 down when you've watched him pitch. Made some great pitches. David Murphy smoked that ball, but right at the second baseman. Otherwise, he had a great chance for a base hit. Hit the ball right on the nose. But he hasn't walked the batter. He's struck out 6 on the season. He's walked 10 batters in about 40 innings. So he's got excellent control.
Pitching and defense has been there for the Royals as a collective this year. It's been their hitting that has kind of been in fits and starts. More starts than fits in this series. They've scored 18 runs in 2 games. Boggs slashing one into right. You got to love that stroke.
He had a hard, tough pitch right there. That was a slider down and in. He not only hit it, he smoked it into right field. You don't expect as a pitcher to give up a rope when you make a pitch like that.
You also don't expect Brandon Boggs to be hitting .625 in the big leagues, but he is.
That's a pretty nice hit right there.
Broussard now. We haven't seen Boggs run quite yet. We've seen him hit. We've seen him field. And in terms of the speed potential, it is there for Brandon Boggs. He had 15 steals last year between single A and double A. Bunch of stolen bases in college at Georgia Tech. Look out, that goes flying out of the hands of Ben Broussard. Hopefully everybody's okay. The ball got fouled. Ooh, that's scary right there, huh?
Well, what happens is, you know, you see it coming and everybody jumps up to get out of the way. And then someone who's not able to see the bat ends up getting hit by it. It looked like a little boy got hit. I think he's okay, though.
Yeah, scared at the very least.
Yeah, scared as much as anything. All the adults screaming, "Watch out."
Ben Broussard, who's got little ones himself. 2 daughters, Mia and Lainey. Mia's going to be turning 3 years old in about a month. That little guy's okay.
Good.
Boggs extends that lead by half a step. Not going, though. And Ben Broussard now down in the count 1-2. Yeah, that's just scary is what that is.
Just wants everybody to leave him alone.
Yep, I agree. Infield, the double play depth here. Saltalamacchia on deck as Broussard takes a big rip and is down on strikes.
Greinke can get you out in a lot of ways. He can just heat up the fastball and throw it by you. He can trick you with a curveball. He can fool you with a changeup. Thought he had Brandon Boggs. I'm sure he did with that hard slider he threw. Brandon ripped a really nice pitch into right field. 7 strikeouts. That's his season high so far.
Toss to first, and Boggs will get on back in without a problem. Chance for the former Atlanta Brave Jared Saltalamacchia, who's going to be celebrating a birthday tomorrow. Hard to believe he is only going to be 23. Tomorrow also the anniversary of his big league debut. Came up from Double-A May 2nd of 2007. That's a pretty good birthday, huh? Get the jump from Double-A to the big leagues. Salta in Italian does mean jump. And if you're curious, or even if you're not, I just kind of force that on you. Lamacchia, we're told, means to blemish or the stain. So I guess it's jump the stain. Saltalamacchia. One on, one out, 1-1 in a 1-1 game. And Salty pops one up. Catcher John Buck gives it a look, but it's back a good dozen rows. Why all the booing? What happened?
I got to think someone made an error, maybe.
Well, in fairness, if it was that guy, he's wearing a, like a 5-year-old's glove. Can't make that play with that glove. I think you got to give some partial credit on that one. Got a couple of other American League games going on today. Tampa Bay leading Baltimore 4-2 in the 8th right now. pitch squirts outside. Actually, I lied. That's the only American League game other than this one going on right now. The other two are in the National League. The Cubs, who got a 19-5 win yesterday over Milwaukee, leading a tamer affair today, 1-0 in the fourth. And the Dodgers got by the Marlins 5-3. In the dirt. I'll see if the Rangers ponder running now with Boggs in a 1-1 game. From Georgia Tech, Boggs, scared back in there. This is not the first Boggs to play for the Rangers. Remember Tommy Boggs?
Sure do. Tommy was a #1 draft choice for the Rangers. High #1 draft choice. High school player, high school pitcher. I believe he was from the Austin area.
Yep, that is right.
Big, strong right-hander. Tommy's made a living with youth baseball for the last 10 or 12 years.
Saltalamacchia gives this one a ride near the track where it's gathered up out there. David DeJesus fires it back in.
Tommy coaches and I think organizes the Austin Slam, which is one of the real good youth organizations, select groups, youth baseball in Texas.
Folks, Nolan Ryan believes you could use some baseball, so for next Friday's game, a week from tomorrow, seats normally priced at $45 are discounted down to what they were when Nolan started pitching here, which is $10 per. That is quite a savings, from 45 down to 10. Go to TexasRangers.com or call 972-RANGERS. Herman Duran, a strikeout victim earlier. And again, as you've said, Tag, not a lot of shame in striking out against what Greinke is featuring today.
That's exactly right. I think that ball Salty hit to left field might have had a chance last night the way the ball was flying to at least get over DeJesus's head. Waited on it pretty well.
Yep.
He just hit it a little bit toward the end of the bat.
And it ends up in the glove of DeJesus and a mild threat. The Rangers had the leadoff man on, but nothing from there. End of 5, tied 1-1. One 3-0 for both teams right now as we go to the 6th inning. A reminder that valet parking is available here at the ballpark. Lexus valet parking stands located on the east and north sides of the ballpark. If you drive a Lexus to the game, you can valet park free of charge. Next chance to see the Rangers here at home. That would be Friday the 9th of May. Nice long homestand getting going then. We might have a record here at home plate, Tag. Most combined letters, batter and catcher. Grzelcyk is your hitter. Saltalamacchia is your catcher. That is 26 letters on the backs of those two uniforms.
All I need is Catalinato to be on deck.
And you need a Wendelstedt umpiring, I guess. Tim Welke actually is your home plate umpire today. 5 letters. Wild wave and a miss by Grzelcyk. Down he goes, and if he's got a sore back, that's not going to help.
Well, Sidney's showing some other pitches than his slider. I mean, than his sinker as well. There's a good slider right there. Down and away. He's also thrown some good curveballs. And he's pitching a nice ball game. Each pitcher's given up 3 hits and 1 run. And no one's made an error yet. That's nice to see.
Well, kind of a sloppy ball game last night. It's been a nice clean game so far today. That is a solid base hit for DeJesus. Seemed like he was 3-2 every at bat yesterday, but he wastes precious little time right there as he pegs the first one into right. The Rangers have already turned a double play today. They've got the infield drawn to where they're looking to turn another here on Jose Guillen. And Guillen has hit the ball on the ground a couple times already this afternoon. Rangers have the home run from Kinsler today. But not a lot other than that. Kansas City got its run in the 3rd inning. The only blemish against the Sidney Ponson ledger right now. Center and stabbed out of the air. Josh Hamilton, who's a big guy to begin with. Not a lot of baseballs can get over his head, but we saw some baseballs jump over outfielders' outstretched gloves yesterday.
Yeah, it was a hard day to play the outfield yesterday, the way the ball was carrying. That ball was hit hard by Guillen right there. He had him played perfectly, too. You see him shaded around toward right field just enough. And Guillen hit that ball nicely. Fortunately, it was right at Josh. You wouldn't have had a lot of time to react to that ball if it wasn't hit right at you.
Now from Guillen to Tian. Mark Tian had a big game on Tuesday. He has yet to put the ball in play this afternoon. He has struck out and walked. To the crowd it goes, and the crowd continues to gather here on a Thursday afternoon. Kind of a late arriving matinee crowd today. Pretty much as soon as you can convince the boss that you have to leave, that's when you get here. We say it often, a ball game is always much more fun when you're seeing it on company time. Not a lot of day games remain for the Rangers. Got a couple on the next homestand, a Sunday afternoon game against the A's, Mother's Day, and Sunday afternoon against the Astros a week after that.
I wish we had one in Seattle on May 8th.
Yeah, the getaway
day. Be back about 4 o'clock in the morning to get ready for that game that night.
Starting pitcher usually flies ahead of the team in a situation like that, right?
For that type of a day, I would think he would for sure.
Rangers have 4 late night games out there in Seattle. You'll see the Mariners designated Brad Wilkerson for assignment.
Saw that. It's pretty early in the season.
We're going to go with the youngster Vladimir Valentin, who's already paid dividends. Had a 3-run home run yesterday off Cliff Lee. Pickoff. Gotta love it if you can execute it, and the Rangers do.
De Jesus was dancing around over there. He finally danced himself right out of the inning.
Whoops. Well, Rangers will take it. Very happy to take it, keeping the game 1-1. Sonic Slam inning brought to you by Sonic, and the jackpot has swelled to $1,000 plus tickets to a Ranger game and dinner for two at Sonic. Rangers are hitting for Tammy Edgerton of Victoria. If a Ranger hits a grand slam this inning, we're giving away $25,000. You can register at any North Texas Sonic restaurant. And we go now to the bottom of the 6th inning, with the hits becoming increasingly challenging to get. Mr. Grieve, Ian Kinsler has one of them, and it was a home run.
Well, when you face pitching like these two teams are facing today, it is tough to hit. Both pitchers have good stuff. They're making a lot of good pitches. The hitters are not getting as many pitches to hit as they did last night, for instance.
Kinsler gets a hold of another one. This ball carries, and it'll be caught just shy of the wall. Gathright meet the wall. Wall meet Gathright.
That's the second ball the Rangers have hit today that probably would have carried right on out of here in last night's game. The ball Saltalamacchia hit the left field would at least have been off the wall. And that one that Ian just hit, I think would have had a chance to go up on the grass in center field. Almost did anyway. Hit that ball pretty well.
Gathright, the guy we've been talking about, who was discovered jumping over cars in a parking lot. We're not going to see him jump over that wall, are we?
Be a good test for him. Bo Jackson ran right up the wall one time.
Vasquez takes one down the line towards the corner. It is going to be gone. Home run for Ramon Vasquez.
Well, Ramon got out in front of that fastball, hit just to the right part of the ballpark, too. Right in the triangle. Doesn't have to go very far, just has to go far enough.
Congrats to Tammy Edgerton, our Sonic Slam winner, and a good time for Ramon to hit his first of the year right there off a tough pitcher in a tie game.
Greinke had given up 2 home runs this year. He's given up 2 solo shots in the game today. Comes right back with a good fastball to Michael Young. I think he's made some of his best pitches to Michael today. He struck him out twice. Ball's on the inside part of the plate. Ramon with his second hit of the day. Rangers have 4, and he has 2 of them.
Into the so-called wedgie. Our good friend Norm Hitzges helped to name.
Wow, what a curveball.
That's something. Michael Young is a true believer.
That's the best pitch he's thrown all day right there. And he's thrown some good curveballs. That was the best one.
That's 8 strikeouts for Zach Greinke now. That is a season high.
Wow. I think he dialed it up a notch right there after Ramon hit the home run against him.
Young and Hamilton and Murphy, 3 of the best Ranger hitters today, a combined 0 for 7. Josh Hamilton, the subject of our Ford leaderboard today. A lot to like about the month of April for Josh. The last 13 runs for the Rangers now in this series have all been on the home run. 7 home runs leading to 13 runs. Hamilton had the grand slam yesterday. And yeah, you can say that the wind might have helped that ball keep going, but it's not like you really needed the aid of the wind necessarily to get it out towards that left center alley. Might have helped carried a little deeper back in the bullpen.
Same pitch.
Hamilton has struck out twice now against Greinke, and that's 9 for the game for the Kansas City right-hander. However, the Ramon Vasquez home run. Yes, the Ramon Vasquez home run has made it 2-1 Texas. Texas Ranger Baseball being brought to you by Southwest Airlines and by Sonic Drive-In. The Rangers have nudged ahead of the Kansas City Royals 2-1. Sidney Ponson trying to keep it right there. What a nice little pitching matchup today, huh? Ponson and Greinke having at it.
After the last 2 days, 2 3-hour and 40-minute games with a lot of base runners, a lot of pitches, a little bit of sloppy play here and there. This has been a much different ball game. Very well pitched game. The Rangers have used the long ball just like they did yesterday. Couple of solo shots, but Sidney's pitched very well. Greinke's pitched very well. They've worked quickly, thrown a lot of strikes.
Ponson continues to field his position very well.
Sidney's at 84 pitches now in the 7th inning. Got a chance of pitching 8 innings today.
A tremendous insurance policy, as it turns out. The Rangers got Ponson into the fold kind of towards the end of spring training. And sure enough, Brandon McCarthy on the DL, that was kind of the impetus. But as other injuries have piled up, Mendoza and Jennings and Gabbard, to go down and get a guy that already has 84 big league wins.
Good slider. I think the key is the Rangers seem to have caught Sidney right at the right time. There's been some other teams that have tried, either traded or signed Sidney. It hasn't worked out well. The Rangers caught him a time in his life where he has dedicated himself to coming back and being the pitcher he used to be. He's doing a pretty good job of it.
Kind of punching the air right there after an 0-2 pitch from Billy Butler. This one squeaking up the middle on him. Shake it off, big guy. We've already gotten Alex Gordon to hit the ball on the ground and into a double play once today. Got that same opportunity right here. Same guy. Our Toyota truck game break coming up in just a bit. The Rangers have homers today from their double play combination. Kinsler and Vasquez hitting solos. Kansas City got a 2-out RBI hit from David DeJesus. That was back in the 3rd. There's a strike on the outside corner. Rangers haven't made an error yet today, which is always a good thing to report. They made 3 yesterday. Kansas City has stayed afloat because they really have not hurt themselves that much in that department tag. They've made only 12 errors all year. That makes for a happy Trey Hillman.
Happy pitching staff, too.
Off speed, 2-2. The count now to Gordon. By the owner's box, where the great Nolan Ryan is hanging out right now. It's got to be fun, I would think, if not a little pressure packed for a pitcher. You're out there, and if you care to look past the batter over his shoulder, there's one of the greatest pitchers in the history of the sport watching you have at it, and he's wearing a Ranger logo. Just outside, 3-2.
Well, Nolan's a very unassuming guy. And the last thing he would want would be for someone to feel that kind of pressure. If anything, you should feel good knowing Nolan's on your side. Yep. Give you a little extra confidence every time you go out there. Got Nolan Ryan rooting for me.
Yeah, it's not like Nolan is sitting there judging.
Yeah, he doesn't have a pad right now and a pen, jotting down scouting notes.
Nope, wearing the logo, and I think more than anything, just wanting to get feedback from the fans more than from pitchers right now. There's the ground ball. Broussard gets the one, and back on to first. There is that Rangers double play. Twice Ponson has gotten Gordon to oblige. We reach the 7th inning stretch here at the ballpark. It's the Rangers 2 and the Kansas City Royals 1. And we will send it to our studio for the Toyota Truck Game Break.
Kevin Eschenfelder with you in our FSN studios. Time now for a Toyota Truck Game Break. Get you back out to Arlington in just a moment for the bottom of the 7th. But first, let's talk about this Texas Rangers road trip coming up, because it is a 7-game trip on the West Coast. It all starts tomorrow night in Oakland. Starts with Vicente Padilla coming off his complete game shutout of the Twins, going against Joe Blanton. Blanton 6-3 in 11 prior starts in his career against the Texas Rangers. Now, after that 3-game set in Oakland, the Rangers then head on to Seattle for a 4-game series against the Seattle Mariners. Be sure and be with us coming up after the game for Rangers Live post-game edition. John Radigan and former Royal, of course, Steve Busby will break it all down, all that and more. We'll take a break, get you back to the bottom of the 7th in just a moment.
2-1 Texas here as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Sidney Ponson, 12 ground ball outs, getting big-time double plays when he needs them. And yeah, the Rangers have the home runs from Kinsler and Vasquez, the double play combination. Trying to make a loser of Zach Greinke here. He just might pitch himself a complete game, but be a loser here today. Kevin Millwood knows that one. Roy Halladay has known that one twice already here in 2008. The heartbreak of the 8-inning complete game. In this inning, there's a strike to Murphy, who has gone 0 for 2. You've got Young, Hamilton, and Murphy. Maybe your 3 most favored hitters. They've combined to go 0 for 8 today. Murphy trying to bloop one down into right, but a sliding catch out there. Yes, that is a catch by Mark Teahen.
Hung up just long enough for Teahen to come in and get it. David just missed a hit there and hit a ball hard as last time up, too.
We're going to put the Coors Light freeze cam on Zach Greinke. Brought to you by the Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. The location of the 2 home run pitches. We'll freeze them for you.
They're almost the exact same pitch. If you compensate for a left-hand hitter and a right-hand hitter, 2 fastballs, a little bit above the knees, middle to a little bit on the inside part of the plate. He's averaged right around 100, 105 pitches per start. He's had 107 pitches a couple of times. Other than that, he's been in the 90s. Right now, he's at 96 pitches. Based on the way he's been used so far this year, you would think 7 innings is about what you're going to get from him today. It's been another outstanding start and a string of outstanding starts.
Here's the Rangers in-game box score for you, brought to you by Firestone. In a 2-1 ball game here, last of the 7th. A for 8 beginning to the big league career of Brandon Boggs. Took a rip at a high fastball right there. Boggs was hitting in the 300 range at AAA. That AAA team still doing very well. They're 18-9. AA Frisco even better than that. The Rough Riders are 18-7. Boggs to left. That ball taking off towards the track and at the wall. What a catch!
Wow.
Sliding is DeJesus to rob Brandon Boggs.
Not many left fielders are going to make that play. That was not a lazy fly ball. That was a hard hit ball about 380 feet in the gap, and DeJesus ran it down. That's some kind of play. He gets a good jump. He's got good speed. He takes an extra base hit away from Brandon with that play. Very nice play. Rangers have hit some balls pretty well off Greinke. He can't believe that. He can't believe that ball was caught.
You saying what? I'm out? How is that possible? Well, the defense has been outstanding both ways today. We had yesterday the miasma of
what?
The foul stench of bad defense both ways yesterday. No such stench this afternoon. That was a heck of a play by DeJesus.
Very nice. Gathright ran down one that Ian hit right up against the center field wall earlier in the ball game.
Ben Broussard looking for his first hit of the day. And is still looking for that as he fouls one. I'm upping that UV index now. We got the sunshine breaking through. Got to be about a 6, maybe even a 7 for your suntan today. Two-out pitch will be cranked over to first and absorbed by Butler. We'll go to the bag, and that'll do it. The Rangers, though, at the end of 7 in a very close game. It's Ponson on top. It's 2-1.
It moves at the speed of technology. 286 horsepower and real-time traffic. The Acura TL Type S. Time is the greatest luxury of all. Acura Advance.
Take advantage of attractive financing on select Acura models for well-qualified customers.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Texas Rangers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Texas Rangers.
Hey folks, if you stay tuned, you will be party to today's Dodge Texas Truck Stop feature. CJ Wilson will wear you out about who is the best dressed Texas Ranger. Broadcasters not included. Top of the 8th. And Sidney Ponson, who's emerged as a big-time storyline today. Going after 8-9-1 in the order here. It's going to be Buck and Pena and Gathright. Buck, the guy who led the Royals in home runs last year, even though he had only 340 at-bats. Alberto Callaspo has come out on deck for Pena, we should point out. As Buck hammers one foul. And Joaquin Benoit getting ready in that Texas Ranger bullpen. That one stays a little high, 3-2. But next time we get an email tag about whatever happened to Ben Grieve, I know exactly where he is now. He's in our booth and looking great.
He was here today.
Strike 3 in there to Buck. See you later.
Oh, I love love the way Sidney's pitching today. I love the fact that he's still in there in the 8th inning, too. Nice shot in the arm for the rotation. Instead of seeing 107 pitches in 5 innings or 6 innings, you got Sidney out there firing away, strike out the leadoff hitter here in the 8th inning.
5 punch-outs for the Aruban sensation.
Yeah, it's not like this is the first time in his life he's pitched like this. He's been there before. It's nice to see him work hard and regain what he had at one time. Not too late to finish out a good career.
Callaspo right off the bench just kind of feathers one on into left field. So get that pinch hit, get the tying man with speed on here. They like Callaspo a lot. He was blocked at every position he can play, though, in Arizona. He can play some second, some short, some third. Put him in left, put him in right. He does fine there. Now the top of the order, Joey Gathright, the native Louisianan. He's going to slash one towards left field. On the move, there is Brandon Boggs to lock it up and quickly get it back in. Boggs continues to impress, as does our roving reporter Jim Knox. Jim.
All right, thank you, Josh. Hey, Josh and Tom, something new here at the ballpark this year. It's the Mojo pitching cage. Pete from Promotions is here to tell us about this one.
Yes, it's 2 tokens need to play for speed, 5 tokens to play if you want to get the jersey that I'm holding in my hand.
All right.
3 out of 4 times that the catcher's mitt, you win the jersey.
So they got the fake batter, then the fake catcher right there. 3 out of 4 times you hit the mitt, you get the jersey, and got a little. What's your name?
Tanner Cleveland.
What position you play?
Pitcher and second base.
All right, well take a try there, Cannon. Go ahead. Let's see, you got 37 the last one. Here's the radar gun. Go ahead. Good wind up and. Hey, not bad. Real 38. Congratulations. Good job.
Very nice delivery right there.
Very nice delivery, Tom. You like that? He set
Yeah.
up nice on the mound. All right. Way to go. Right here, center field. Place to be during the game. Thank you, Pete. Appreciate it. All right.
Thank you, Pete from Promotions. I don't think Pete's a native Texan.
I don't think so either.
Trying to place the accent.
But as the Texans say, he got here as soon as he could.
That's what Jim Sundberg always says. That's good enough for me.
Yep.
Ball and a strike, the count to Mark Grudzelanek, the El Paso native.
Nice curveball.
Yeah, a little looper.
Good outing for Sidney Ponson.
Well, the Rangers needed that, and Ponson has given them maybe even just a skosh extra here today. With 8 solid innings, he's got a 2-1 lead.
There's no crying in baseball because there's no reality TV in baseball. There are no rose ceremonies, no boardroom firings, no getting kicked off an island in baseball. There's no singing, dancing, or cooking contests. And there are no makeovers in baseball. And that's why you could use some more of it.
Marlon Byrd is probably the best dressed because he's got his own unique style. Regardless of the situation, he comes in. I mean, his leather jackets are better than everybody else's leather jackets. His sunglasses are better than everybody else's sunglasses. I mean, he's got these print shirts that he wears. He's really, really well dressed.
That is C.J. Wilson. And that was brought to you by Dodge, your Texas truck stop. C.J. getting ready to maybe close one out here. That's the hope, as the Rangers have a 2-1 lead in the 8th. New pitcher to tell you about. And before we can even tell you that that was Leo Nunez, that was almost the end of Leo Nunez right there. Saltalamacchia bashing one just beyond the skinny right-hander.
Came in at 93, went out at 103.
Could be Salty's last at bat as a 22-year-old. He turns 23 tomorrow, the anniversary of his big league debut.
Nunez has been pitching well this year, tough to hit. Hasn't given up a home run, hasn't given up many hits at all.
It looks like he might blow away in this wind, too. Stu Miller style, right off the mound.
Well, if he turns sideways like that, the wind will miss him.
Duran with a bunt and a butte. Nunez will scoop it and tag Duran going by. Nunez, who is built like a limbo stick. Duran almost able to duck underneath. That is the 4th sack bunt for Duran since coming up from AAA.
Nunez is not a stout guy, but he's got a good arm. He's got a good fastball. Good relief pitcher for Kansas City. What a difference between this game and last night's game.
All the sludge is out of the engine today. No errors in this one, only 3 runs in this one. Kinsler, who homered on the 3rd pitch the Rangers saw this afternoon, and actually hit one right on the proverbial button in the 6th inning too. And that one was tracked down at the wall by a leaping Joey Gathright. Tampa Bay and Baltimore have gone final. The Rays win again. And looky, the Rays are a half a game out of being the first place team in the AL East. Check those Jack-in-the-Box standings.
Yeah, the good thing for the Rays is they've played that well without Scott Kazmir, their ace, who's getting ready to come back and start a game within the next few days. That'll be a great shot in the arm for their rotation, which has been pretty good without him. But it'll be a lot better with him.
That Andy Sonnenstein looked great yesterday. He's now 4-1. Kinsler with a foul.
And James Shields has been pitching great baseball. Pitched a shutout his last start. Shut out the Red Sox, as a matter of fact. 9 innings. Got Troy Percival back, throwing the ball pretty well late in the game.
Down to Kinsler. Another single by Saltalamacchia, the sac bunt by Duran. Now the Ranger leadoff man, the 300 hitting Ian Kinsler, going to check his swing and foul it off his own body. Tim Welke seemed to step out the home plate umpire and give everybody a full 2 sentences on what happened right there. But that is one where I guess it needs some clarification, right? Because Kinsler was almost out of the box.
Yeah, Buck was trying to say he got hit out of the batter's box, which would have been an out, but that ball came up and hit him before he really took a step to even come close to getting out of the batter's box.
Wind picking up again, gusting out to left here at the ballpark today. And Kinsler hits it instead to right. And the ball seems kind of thumbtacked up there. Mark Teahen makes the catch, fires in. Saltalamacchia maybe forgetting that Teahen led the league in outfield assists last year. Had to scramble back.
And Teahen has a solid arm, and he's very accurate with it. 17 outfield assists last year.
That brings up Ramon Vasquez now, who's had a huge afternoon. That batting average has gone from 233 to 273. We have described Vasquez as the Rangers' version of a Swiss Army knife. That whatever position you need him at, wherever in the batting order you need him, you just go get the appropriate utensil. And that is Ramon Vasquez. Anything you need him for, he's got it. Sometimes I guess it's a dangerous position for a player to be in, Tag, because you get that reputation of being the jack of all trades and master of none kind of thing. But in a situation like now with Blaylock out for a while, Vasquez knows pretty much third base, occasional shortstop as he is today.
Well, there's some guys in that role, utility infielder, that you wouldn't feel comfortable having to play them for, say, 3 solid weeks. Ramon showed that he could do that last year. So I think if there's a notch between a utility guy and a regular. That's probably what Ramon is, because I think the Rangers feel very comfortable at least platooning him out there, which means he gets a lot of playing time because you face more right-handed pitchers. And you know he's going to do a solid job for you defensively at any of the 3 infield positions.
Well, you'd love to grow the lead just by 1 right here. Give yourself a little bit of wiggle room in the 9th. A base hit by Vasquez can get that done. On the ground, hurdled by Saltalamacchia. But Vasquez is out, and the Royals have themselves a shot. They are down 1. Going to the 9th inning here at the ballpark in Arlington.
If you missed last week's FSN baseball report,
here's a look at what you might have missed.
Steinbrenner certainly is entitled to his opinion. He pulled off an incredible feat.
Join us every weekend on the Baseball Report.
Folks, you're invited to text Rangers to 55222. And if you do, you receive the Texas Rangers logo wallpaper on your mobile phone. Costs you $2.49. Crowd in the 15,000 range today on a Thursday. The matinee daytime getaway game, and the Rangers with C.J. Wilson looking to lock up a nice crisp 2-1 win today before heading out on the road, going to the Bay Area, then on to Seattle. On C.J., who has knocked down 5 out of 6 save opportunities. Yesterday, technically not a save opportunity, but C.J. kind of created one for himself, Tag. He came in, it was 11-7. Gave up a 2-run homer. It was suddenly 11-9. And from there, things were just fine.
Yeah, it felt like a save, even though it didn't qualify as a save. This one feels like a save, a 2-1 ball game. No margin for error. And the middle of the lineup coming up.
Yep, Guillen on deck, who was 3 for 4 lifetime against C.J. But there's an 0-2 count on DeJesus.
But it's a good spot for C.J. A couple of the hitters he's going to face, at least out of the first 3, are left-handed. Tien's a left-hand hitter. DeJesus is a left-hand hitter.
Meat of the order, though, for Kansas City.
Well, you just can't say enough for the job that Sidney Ponson did after the last couple of games where a lot of pitches were being thrown. He came out, threw a little over 100 pitches, went 8 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, struck out 5. Great assortment of pitches, good command, hard sinker, work quickly, determination on his face. That was an excellent outing. Great to see.
On the 1-year anniversary of his most recent big league win.
Boy, there's a jam shot.
A little dribbler, and Kinsler is going to take care of David DeJesus. That's key. That guy's got speed, too. If he's on, you got all kinds of ways to get him around.
Yeah, the interesting part about this ballgame, if the Rangers can win this game, they will have won 2 straight series, one against Minnesota, one against Kansas City. And even though in that 6-game stand, there's been a couple of games that really weren't fun to watch. Bottom line is the Rangers can go 4-2 on this homestand if CJ can knock down the save.
Wow, now that's just throwing some gas behind Guillen right there, a guy that's had his number in the past.
And CJ had a little extra on that one, 94 miles an hour. Said, here it is, see if you can hit it.
He does hit that one, but it curls to Murphy for out number 2.
Ranger outfielder is playing a little bit deeper right now than normal. You don't mind one falling in front of you. What you don't want is one going over your head. Put a man in scoring position in a 1-run game. Guillen's struggling, hitting 183 coming into the game. He's 0 for 4 today.
Now as Mark Tien comes up again, really the only thing you're hoping, Tag, you know, when the Rangers bottomed out, they were 10 games under. You just hope that they had been through the worst of it, that they had actually hit rock bottom, that they were not still plunging towards anything like that. You win this one. Yep, you've won 4 out of 6. You're up to 11-18, and a chance to go in and strike rather quickly and rather often against Oakland, the team that's been hanging around first place most of the year. Check swing, and that fades away. 2-1. CJ, who just ate up and spat out lefties all year last year, gets to within 1 strike now of getting the Rangers a 2-1 win. Not quite yet. And Billy Butler on deck. Still 3-2. The Ramon Vasquez homer back in the 6th. That's what broke the tie. And here we are, 2-1. 1 strike left to get. Ball game. That was it. Wilson strikes out 10. Stand that started miserably ends very well. The Rangers squeak out a well-played 2-1 win this afternoon.
I think that's one of the Rangers' better wins of the season right there. Excellent pitching. Turned a couple of double plays, hit a couple of long balls. Got your closer in there in a 1-run game. Closed it out with a strikeout, 1-2-3 inning. Ended up winning a homestand, 4 out of 6. Pretty good game for the Rangers right there. Well played ball game and a nice win.
Now the Rangers kind of finger painted their way to a win yesterday. Not exactly a work of art, but today you put a frame around this one. You could sell that. It's 2-1 Texas for a final. We're coming right back.
Hey, stuff happens.
Hey, welcome back to Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. Rangers get a nice victory here today, and a quick victory. Chuck Morgan just announced the time. It might be the best stat of the game today. 2 hours and 10 minutes, Buzz. That's crisp, quick, good baseball, and no errors.
Yeah, that was like real baseball. John, today, great pitching. Tom Greaves summed it up very well. Great pitching on both sides. Timely hitting, outstanding defense. Both teams played great defense. So, that's a recipe for a quick ball game.
Yeah, and all of a sudden you mix it up, and the Rangers are suddenly on a pretty good streak, having won 4 of 6 on the homestand, 4 of 6 overall, and they've won 2 series in a row.
And you like the way they're starting to put things together a little more frequently. The defense is still not where you'd like it. The pitching overall is still not where you like it, but you're seeing more flashes in the same ball game of things coming together a little bit. So hopefully the corner has been turned, and the Rangers can build on these things as they head to Oakland.
We're getting you ready for Rangers Live here. We're between sections 9 and 10 at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. Josh and Tom are going to help us wrap it up, and we're going to bring you Rangers Live from here in a moment.
Texas Ranger Baseball brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With Southwest are now free to be more productive. Visit southwest.com. And by your Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Rangers take both the series and this particular game 2-1. Clearing skies, hopefully. That is a metaphor for Ranger baseball. Tom and I are coming back momentarily. After the break, we'll join John and Buzz. Our post-game coverage continues. Highlights and analysis on Rangers Live right here on FSN Southwest.
inside and out as FSN Southwest gets you up close and personal with your favorite players. This is the show built just for Rangers fans. Rangers Insider, Friday on FSN Southwest.
Hi there, welcome into Rangers Live. The Rangers get a victory over the Kansas City Royals on a perfect getaway day at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. 2 runs, 5 hits, and no errors for your Texas Rangers today. A pitcher's duel, a getaway day game, and a fun Rangers Live in store for you today. We've got Jim Knox working the field and the crowd here, and if he's working this crowd, you know that means questions for Buzz are coming up in just a couple of minutes. And of course, Josh Lewin and Tom Griever standing by. Emily Jones is working the clubhouse. For now, we are going to take you back upstairs, Josh Lewin and Tom Grieve, to help us wrap this one up. Guys? I believe we are having some audio difficulties with Josh and Tom, so let's take you to Ramon Vasquez standing by with Jim Knox.
All right, Ramon Vasquez, game-winning home run. Did you think it was out of here?
No, I thought I had a chance. You know, that's the right part of the field for me to hit it at. You know, why 400 or 370 when you got a 320 on the line? So, you know, I put a good swing on it, good pitch down and in, right where I like him, and you know, just barely got out, but that's all I needed, I guess.
Now with Hank on the DL, you're getting plenty of playing time at third base. You also are a utility fielder. You can play anywhere in the infield just about. Is there a favorite position for you?
No, I play anywhere. As long as I'm in the lineup, I don't care where I'm at. I'm just trying to do my job out there.
What about the job Ponson did today?
Oh, he was outstanding. Yeah, we're having a great time out there. We're talking back and forth, telling what. It's awesome. I'm happy for him.
All right, congratulations, Rome. Thank you very much.
All right, that's Jim Knox with Ramon Vasquez. And you know, a lot of times during the course of the early part of this season, it's been the team that made errors. Yeah. We'd much prefer it that we make the errors. So, me, and now I think we go to Josh and Tom. My error, guys.
No worries. We're here and we're happy. The Rangers with a 2-1 win, and it's all good. Ramon Vasquez getting a chance to play today, and in the field and at the plate. That was a good call.
Yeah, it was a good call to play Ramon today. He got to play shortstop today. He's been playing a lot of third base with Hank out of the lineup. Today he's playing shortstop. Michael Young was the DH. Does a great job defensively. Turned a couple of double plays. Really helped Sidney Ponson out. Sidney pitched an outstanding game. Got good defense from everybody today. The Rangers in a 1-1 game late in the ball game. Ramon Vasquez steps up, hits it in the triangle. That proved to be the game winner. Went 2 for 4, playing some nice baseball for the Rangers. That's what you would expect from Ramon every time he gets a chance to fill in.
Got it done. Lost the mustache, but he gained a home run, and it all works out very well. Guys, we send it back to you.
Guys with facial hair during picture day way back in spring training, and it's now looking a little obsolete. Josh and Tom, thanks. Have a good road trip. We're going to take you right back down onto the field now. Emily Jones standing by with Ian Kinsler.
John, thank you. Here with Ian Kinsler. Ian, nice win for you guys. You got it going in the leadoff spot.
Yeah, I had an all right day. I mean, the first at bat was a good one. After that, I didn't really squeak a hit out, but you know, Sidney Ponson had a great outing for us and went 8 and held him 1 run. We got the win.
Talk about Greinke was unbelievable today, but you guys, you know, the way you were able to get the runs when you needed them and what Ponson was able to do, it's really a complete game by you guys in every way. And Michael Young really wants you to know about it, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a DH today. He's a little bored, I think, so he's got to figure out something to do. But no, Sidney pitched great today. I mean, we got 2 runs, and you can't win a game normally with 2 runs, and we were able to win today with great pitching, Sidney and CJ. And you know, if we can get outings like that more time than not, we're going to win.
How was it nice to see Ramon get a home run like that too?
Absolutely, he swung it back great today. I think he had a couple other hits. His last at bat, you know, he hit the ball hard to shortstop or wherever he hit, I can't remember, but he had a couple great at bats, and it's good to see him get one out of the yard.
You guys have talked about starting over with a new season, now 4-2 on this season, a great homestand for you guys. Now hit the road. How important is it to keep that momentum going?
It's very important, especially when you go to play your division. I mean, we got Oakland, we got Seattle, so you know, we're just trying to go and keep our momentum going.
Okay, and congratulations on the win. Thanks for the time. We do appreciate it. Once again, the Rangers 4-2 on this new season, as they've called it. 4-2 on this homestand. They now hit the road. John, back to you.
All right, Emily, thanks very much. And you know, when you get a leadoff home run like Ian Kinsler gave you, Buzz, it sets a tone for the rest of the team. Hey, maybe this guy is hittable. Now, Greinke didn't wind up being very hittable, but at least everybody kind of believed we can hit the guy.
Well, yeah, you knew if he made a mistake, you had a chance to jump on it, and that's what you had to do. And that's honestly how you have to hit against good pitchers. And Greinke was very good today. Make no mistake about it. A couple of pitches he did not get him where he wanted to, and the Rangers made him pay. But their pitching made that stand up, which is key.
Yeah, and we're going to talk lots of pitching later in the program. But for right now, we've got the quickest man of the broadcast team, Jim Knox, on the field and then right by us here in the...
Yeah, hey, quick sprint up to the stands here. I got to get these two twins on. How old are they?
10 months old.
Oh, they're cute, even though they're from Kansas City. Good to have you out here. We got a question for Buzz. What's your name? What's your question?
Darren Eubank. When is Marlon Byrd coming back? We want to do the bird.
Marlon is working at it. He just started running. He's doing every baseball activity now. It's just a matter of getting back in shape. And hopefully, by the time the Rangers return after this road trip, Marlon Byrd will be ready to go and raring to get out there.
All right, there you go. They want to do the bird. We got a honeymoon couple?
There, we got a honeymoon from Odessa, Texas.
Good to have you out here. Another question for Buzz.
Did Sidney Ponson solidify a spot in the Rangers starting rotation?
Yeah, nice job today. What
Well,
about
I'll tell you
Buzz?
what, if that didn't solidify a spot for the next time out, at least, there's something wrong. And Ron Washington watched the game, so he's not stupid by any means. Yeah, Sidney will be back out there. You know, this rotation is really in flux anyway. Whether this lasts for another month or 2 months or 5 months, nobody knows. But right now, Sidney Ponson, really, pencil him in as the number 3 starter for you, behind Millwood and Padilla.
Vital part of the rotation.
Yeah.
And we got one more from Noxie. Noxie, you got one more for us?
Okay, one more question. Question from you, big guy.
What's up, man?
What's your favorite question?
I don't know.
How about Ramon Vasquez, Buzz? What about this guy? He plays every position, it seems like. It seems like he gets the job done. I'll ask you a question.
We saw Ramon Vasquez last year do about the same thing. He came up and was just torrid, filling in at every infield position. And not only does the guy, is he able to play second, play third, play short, do whatever you need, a good left-handed hitter, but he's always ready to play, no matter what you ask him to do. And I think you heard it in the interview, too, just a little while ago. Hey, wherever they want to put me in, I'm going to go in and play. And he always gives you 100% and doesn't make many mistakes.
That's good stuff, Noxie. We appreciate it very much. And it's always the way when you just put the camera on the guy. He freezes. He froze. He couldn't come up with a question. We got lots more coming up. Rangers Live. Rolling on from Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. We talk about the pitching and we talk about the homers. The long ball, a factor again today. It's all coming up from Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. You know what happens in this deal. Whenever we show power numbers and indicate and tease that this will be another power pack game, it's going to be 1-0. And we'll hope it's 1-0 in favor of the Rangers. Or we'll take 2-1 in favor of the Rangers.
I didn't know I was working with a great Karnak. I mean, you got any lottery numbers for tonight?
I may just have to get a lottery ticket on the way home. Yeah, we figured as soon as we put up the power numbers from the first 2 games of this series, it automatically meant this would be a pitcher's duel. And it really was, and a great pitcher's duel it was. I love this kind of baseball. It moves along quickly, and it keeps you on the edge of your seat because one swing of the bat can change the entire thing as it did in the 6th inning today. Let's take a look at the numbers from the pitchers today, and the numbers were awfully good. Zach Greinke, 7 innings pitched. He allows only 4 hits, and only 1 Ranger got 2 hits, and only 3 Rangers got hits off of him at all. He strikes out 9 and didn't walk anybody. Sidney Ponson, though, while the numbers don't look quite as good, Sidney Ponson was the better pitcher today. But
yeah, the one number that doesn't show up there is the one less run that Ponson,
that's right.
And that's the key. And you know, you look at both of them, only 2 walks between the 2 of them. Ponson had both those, and 14 strikeouts in a cumulative 17 or 16 innings. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's good pitching. That's good, solid pitching. Both of them, as you mentioned, worked very quickly, threw a lot of strikes. I think their strike totals were well up into the 60%, maybe close to 70%. So that's how you move games along. That's how you get through on a day like this.
And you've got to give credit to the Rangers hitters who were kept off balance. When you can get anything off of a guy, we saw him throw 96 and we saw him throw 69. Yeah.
Well, Zach Greinke has the innate ability, and he's had this since he came up 4 years ago. He pitches at 93, 94, 92, somewhere in there. He will throw at up to 97. meaning his best fastball when he just rears back and lets it go is 97. Then he'll drop down to as low as 69, 70 with a curveball. Changeup's about 82. That's a tremendous spread for hitters to try and combat. Plus, he throws everything in the strike zone, and that's a pretty complete pitcher.
And he looked like a guy who, once he gave up the home run in each case, although he gave up the home run to Kinsler and immediately gave up a base hit to Vasquez, but when he gave up the one to Vasquez, it was like, I am mad now, and he struck out the next two.
Yeah, he gave up the home run to lead off to Kinsler, and he got a pitch that didn't quite get in far enough, and he had made him pay. Sixth inning, Vasquez going after the first pitch. That's a get-ahead fastball that he was trying to go away with, left in the middle of the plate. After Kinsler's hit to lead it off, gave up the single to Vasquez, but then retired 12 straight. And as you mentioned, after Vasquez's home run, he then strikes out the next two to get out of the inning, and he just wasn't going to give the Rangers anything consistent to get going.
And then that made the pressure be all on the Rangers pitching, and that hasn't been a great place to put the pressure traditionally, and certainly not this year in many cases, but this guy handled that pressure just fine, didn't he?
Good thing about Sidney Ponson, he hasn't been here for all that. He's been elsewhere, and he just pitches his game. Great sinker ball, and a power sinker, good breaking ball that you saw there, an occasional splitter, just excellent movement on the pitches. And because he's been in the league now for 10 years, he knows how to change speeds. He's not like Zach Greinke in that he changes speeds on every pitch, but his movement takes care of a lot. He will throw the ball, the sinker on the inside half of the plate to right-handers, the outside half, and move it all over the place, and then change speeds, but he'll get ahead of hitters first.
It is nice to see, though, when you've got the injuries that this staff has right now, and we're hoping that Kason Gabbard might be able to come back during this road trip, but even still, when you've got these kinds of injuries, it's nice to see a guy come through like that you didn't expect.
John Daniels catches a lot of heat for the trades that were made that haven't turned out right. Don't forget Sidney Ponson signing the first week in March this year and coming up here when he was needed after he got in shape. And he has turned out to be, at least in the first two outings, a find. Yeah. A find for John Daniels and the Rangers.
Yeah, it's worked out pretty well for them. All right, we've got more coming up. Rangers Live rolling on from Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. 2-1 the final today as Texas beats Kansas City and wins their second straight series. We're coming back with more post-game locker room sound.
Rangers Live is brought to you by Rico. Move your ideas forward with Rico Dependability. Rangers Live is brought to you by Jack in the Box, where we don't make it until you order it.
Hey, welcome back to Rangers Ballpark in Arlington, and take a look at the numbers for Sidney Ponson in his first two starts. Earned runs, only two, one today and one in his first start. He did give up 5 runs in his first start, but only one of them was an actual earned run. 9 strikeouts, only 3 walks, and an ERA of 1.35. That's 3.5 points better than his career ERA. He has found a place that he seems to be very comfortable pitching right now, and we talked about him in the pregame show, Buzz. He's got that bulldog mentality. He's got that maybe, hey, this is my chance to reprove myself mentality.
And I think that's a big part of it. I really like what I see from Sidney Ponson. He's been a bulldog. He's got a lot of pride as a pitcher, which is something that sometimes is lacking today. And, guys go out there and say, look, I've got something to prove. And Ponson has more than most to prove. Not that he's just a good pitcher, but he's capable, again, of rising to the top of the American League as he has and has been in the past. And I think that's a great motivator.
It really is. It has been thus far, as you saw those numbers there. Let's take a look at how this one transpired on a lovely afternoon for baseball at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. We will start with the third pitch of the game from Zach Greinke. Now, this is the ace of the Royals staff, and Ian Kinsler says, so what? He drives that one, and it is gone. A home run. Ian's second of the year makes it 1-0 in favor of the Rangers, and then Ramon Vasquez follows with a hit. It looked like Greinke was going to be easy, but he wasn't. Ponson wasn't either. He induces the 4-6-3 to get out of the 4th inning there, and we take you now to the 6th inning. And check this out, a little pickoff play by Ponson as he gets David DeJesus, who is dead in the water, as it goes 1 to 3 to 6. 6 for the pickoff play. Still in the 6th,
Jackson
bottom
ran
half
right up
now,
the wall.
second batter, first pitch. It's Ramon Vasquez, and it's a home run. The only guy to have 2 hits off of Greinke today, and in fact, only 3 Rangers were able to manage hits off of him today. Brandon Boggs got the other one. Boggs this time does not get a hit, though. He might have, but David DeJesus makes a great robbing catch out there. He went a long way to get that ball and then slid and got it. And then the Rangers call on C.J. Wilson, who pitched last night and pitched again today and had a perfect 9th inning today, and they needed him to have that today, and the Rangers get the victory. 2-1 was the final. Texas wins 2 straight series. That is a step in the right direction, and the Rangers are now back to 11-18 on the season. So a baby step, Buzz, but as Josh talked about at the end of the telecast, perhaps this team, which hit rock bottom later in the year last year, maybe they did hit rock bottom earlier and now are headed up.
Well, you would hope so. And what Emily talked about, too, in the interview with Ian Kinsler, you know, the new season idea. And I think that's a good way to look at it. You have to look at it that way. You gotta it's kind of like drawing a line in your bowling score and say, hey, that's it. From here on, it's going to be better. That's what the Rangers have done among themselves, among the players, which is where it counts. And I think if you look at it that way, then you can kind of put things in the past where they belong. Focus on from here on out. Let's get it together. Let's play. You win a series at a time. They won 2 here at home. They're 5-5 in series this year, but they've been swept a few times too, which is what draws the record down. But hey, you know, they've won the first 2 series since they took this attitude. That is a step in the right direction.
And what a great game it was today. Very clean, no errors, a new month, and perhaps a new attitude in that regard too. All right, we've got more coming up. Rangers Live rolling on from Rangers Ballpark in Arlington.
Rangers Live is brought to you by Ford, your Texas Ford dealers.
Hey, the only way to win games 2-1 is to get good pitching, and the Rangers got that today. Sidney Ponson, 8 innings pitched. He allowed only 6 hits and 1 run in the game. He struck out 5 and walked just 2. C.J. Wilson gets the save, but Sidney Ponson is our Ford built tough player of the game. It was an excellent performance and a nice little defense. Love work there by Sidney Ponson, too. What a find. It was May 1st. Today was the day that if he was not called back up from the minor leagues, he would have been a free agent. Boy, what a great decision it was to bring him up, too.
Yeah, and you wonder, without the injury to Gabbard and without everything that traumatic that's happened to the Rangers, would Sidney be here? Well, that question is kind of a moot thing now because he is here and he's pitching like he doesn't want to go anywhere.
Yeah, he's pitching like he is here to stay. All right, the Rangers are going somewhere, though. They're going on the road. They've got a West Coast road trip, as is often the case with their division. They're going to Oakland and then to Seattle. Oakland, I guess it's never a surprise, and yet it's a bit of a surprise how well they're playing, flirting with first place all season thus far, and it's always a tough place to play, Buzz.
Yeah, pitching and defense, and Oakland has brought that to the forefront again. They're just like the last several years, it seems like the cast changes, but the results don't. They hit just enough to score enough runs to back up the pitching and defense and go from there. And, of course, we all know Seattle's been a house of horrors for the Rangers over the last couple of years, but hopefully they can turn things around. They played well the first time as they opened up the season in Seattle, and we'll see how this goes.
So 3 in Oakland and then 4 in Seattle, the bulk of them right here on FSN Southwest. We will, of course, be there before and after each and every game on FSN Southwest. Even those late-night games, we'll be there bringing you Rangers Live. Thanks for joining us for this one. The Rangers win it today 2-1 on Getaway Day at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. It was arguably the best game of the season. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time on Rangers Live.
Hot dogs!